afterwards. Maybe you can do it quick. Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, why don't we just kind of talk a little about the trip we had yesterday? We went to Times Square, went to Universal McCann, had some good pizza afterwards. What was it like being in Times Square? I mean, I saw you guys looking at those big screens. You saw people walking around taking photos. You know, you guys had quite a few sights you enjoyed, I'm sure. Andres, tell me what it was like in Times Square.
I really enjoyed it. I feel like I got closer with everybody. It's always nice to just go around with your friends and look at new things that you wouldn't see where we typically are in Newark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of hanging out, right? What about you, Babel? I mean, you're from a completely different country. What was it like coming here, seeing something that, I mean, people travel all over the world just to come and see? What was it like?
I enjoy myself to be in Times Square because even this is not my first time to be there. I really enjoy myself. And Times Square is a big place, and also you can see a lot of people from different countries around you, take a picture with their friends and their family.
Yeah, that's cool. What about you, Ian?
I really enjoyed it. Like he said, I was bonding with friends, cracking jokes and stuff like that. It was really like a good experience. It was really fun. Yeah.
It was a good break from like the humdrum, right? Coming to school in uniform, talking about like whatever our project did. It was a good break, right?
Yes.
But then another big highlight we had was that our visit to McCann, right? Before we even got to Times Square, we were at Universal McCann in that major office. Did you guys see that? Like, it was
crazy.
like 5 or 6 floors of people in one of the top advertising agencies in the world. I mean, they have clients in pharma, athletics. I mean, they talk about BMW. I mean, can you imagine working for a company like that?
It's kind of crazy. It's kind of mind-blowing what you can see in like a place that's not too far from us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's literally, you can like see some of the skylines from here, but so close, but yet so far, right?
Yeah.
Like, what about you, Ian? I mean, I saw you like looking at some of those, I mean, they had this sofa I saw Reese lay out on. I mean, Reese almost got swallowed by the sofa, how big it was. I mean, what do you think it would be like to work in somewhere like that, Ian?
Compared to other offices, I think it would be really good, really like a good kind of, a good kind of job. Cause I think you're not confined to your desk the whole day, the whole week, or the whole year and stuff like that. You can like go around. If you feel like your office is too like cramped or something, you can move to like somewhere else. Or if you feel like you work too much, take a break, stuff like that. It's those little things that I really enjoy and like, and that's why I think it's a really good place to work.
Yeah, I saw this sign on their wall. It said, you know, better art, you know, better science, better outcome. I mean, for us who are now like coming up in the world, we're just joining industries, we're still studying and trying to figure out where we want to be in the world. I mean, Babel, you're going into athletics. I mean, did you feel inspired to want to be a better athlete just after seeing all that you can achieve by going down that path? I mean, he talked about sports, right, as a former sports agent, Mr. Marshall, right? VP of Diversity and Belonging. I mean, what was it like hearing his presentation for you?
First of all, I will start. Visit to UM was fun for me yesterday. I realized and learned a lot of stuff about basketball and draft, NBA. So those stuff I didn't know before, like
the 500,000 people who start out in high school. Then you have the like 50,000 going to college, and then you have less than 1% of that who actually make it into professional sports. I mean, that's some crazy stats, right? But one thing he talked about was that funnel. He said we pay so much attention to what comes out of it. But what about all those people who help refine that population, right? You start off as those college basketball players and it refines down to these professional athletes. You realize that the world is more than just professional athletes, millionaires, and all these people. There's so much people that go into this system that's there, right? You have who? You have the attorneys, you have the accountants, you have the agents, right? What about you? Did it open up your mind as to what else you can do in the world too? I mean, you don't have to just be a teacher or a doctor or a lawyer. There's other things out there, right?
Yeah, for me, it showed me like that I could also have a plan B, because I inspired to be a professional baseball player. Like that, not only you can't like there's not one route going to the league. There's another route. You could be an agent. You could be something in like the offices and like the professional baseball, and you get paid just as much as the athletes. That like he said, like the agents, they didn't run a suicide. They didn't take a jump shot. They didn't do none of that. They just like they're doing their job. They're being an agent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, and what did you think about it?
Like you said, I didn't really. Before he said all those jobs, I really didn't pay attention to those. I'll be honest, but he really kind of opened my eyes on the amount of possibilities that I could have in the world and my future, and I really think that just because those little all the sports that you see on TV, you don't know if you're gonna make it or not. It's like he said, it's always good to have a plan B. It's always good to like have a backup just in case what you're doing what you're like plan A, it doesn't work out. Like you still have this backup and you could still make good money and have a good future off of that backup. And I think that what he said, it kind of stuck with me.
Yeah. What about you, Babel? What do you think?
Oh, like he said, I want to point something. Because he said in NBA, if you get like 32 or 33 years, you all in NBA or professional. But in real life, you still young.
You're still pretty young, yeah, right?
I didn't know that, but now I will start to think about it because I think being professional is everything. So I didn't know after professional you got another life. So I didn't know that, and he explained me that yesterday. I will realize another thing, so I will appreciate it.
Well, that's true, right? There's so much of your life you have ahead of you. I mean, you guys are some of you ready to graduate, some of you still in high school. There's so much of your life ahead of you, and there's so much time for your mind to still be blown, right? There's so much more out there for you to see. I mean, when you saw that office, I mean, have you ever seen an office like that before?
No, never. Not even close to it.
No, I mean, that was just one experience for you to just kind of have your mind blown, right? I mean, I saw those steps, looked like a Moroccan kind of theme, and we went somewhere else and it was like this kind of man cave feeling with all the leather sofas. And then, what was one of your favorite areas?
My favorite area was the gym. Like, we didn't even walk into it. Like, it was just something that you could just get your mind off and just go work out right after a long day of work.
Yeah, they kind of build it around your life, right? Yeah. What about you, Ian? What space did you really like?
Probably the place with either two places. Either the place where it was like those steps with the little carpets on them. Either that or that little game area with the foosball table, and it had rocks, like real rocks on the floor. I was like, what? Because I thought it was just fake and it was real rocks. I'm like,
really? They were real rocks?
Yeah.
And Babel, you were just getting really into that foosball. I mean, I could hear you from where I was. I mean, gosh. I mean, what was it like? Did you enjoy yourself at least?
I really enjoyed myself, yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you really got into it. It was competitive, but then we realized that just as competitive as that foosball game was, it's just how competitive the world is, right?
Yeah.
As competitive as business. So, I mean, for me, it was really good to actually see Mr. Marshall talk about how he's working to make that industry more diverse, right? So that people who look like us can get into that industry. I mean, what does it feel like knowing that there is someone out there working for you like that?
Like, for me, it honestly gives me hope. Like, that there's another thing out, like, there's somebody out there fighting for us. Like, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Basically what he said kind of gives me hope, because like when we're growing up in schools especially, a lot of people say, oh, the world hates you, oh, the world, I wouldn't say hate, but the world doesn't care about you. You really have to step up the grind. It really like kind of takes some weight off my shoulders, kind of gives me hope knowing that people out there actually like care for us and is fighting for us.
That someone is fighting for your voice, right?
Yeah.
What about Babel? Do you feel as if your voice is a little louder now?
I think so, cause
No, go ahead.
I think yes, but I think Andres and he say
They said it all.
They say it all, so I don't have nothing to say.
Okay, that sounds good.